Now, ladies and gentlemen, from the MGM Grand of Las Vegas, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white, official weight 130 pounds, professional record 47 victories, including 34 KOs with only 2 defeats. Damas y caballeros, de la zona norte, Tijuana, Mexico, the 3-time world champion, Eric El Terrible and his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red with flames. Official weight, 129.5 pounds. Professional record, 39 victories, including 30 knockouts, with only 2 defeats and 2 bouts even. From General Santos City, the Philippines, the 3-time champion of the world, Manny Pacquiao.
A fight of rhythm, timing, balance, and phases. At this point in his career, Manny Pacquiao was an unpolished diamond. He was raw, powerful, explosive, had all of the gifts, the natural talents that could make an exceptional boxer, and you could really see that something was special. Erik Morales, on the other hand, he never had the speed or the power that Manny Pacquiao did. He was more known for his determination, his grit, and his fighting will. Perhaps least acknowledged, but not to be undermined, was his boxing skill, his IQ, and his ability to put attacks together from different angles. For the purpose of this video, we're going to study these guys' ability to put their attacks together, or phases. We will see how these phases are able to keep an opponent off balance, and also how phases can get the better of an exchange and ultimately win the round. In the early stages of this fight, Pacquiao uses speed and athleticism to overwhelm Morales. As Morales adjusts to the speed, he uses his experience, counter-punching, and angles to take away Manny Pacquiao's best assets and use those assets against him. Take notice of how Erik Morales closes distance here and how Pacquiao avoids the attack. And here again, see if you can notice some consistencies. Let's watch again. Morales steps forward with his boxing stance, allowing him to throw consistent attacks. Pacquiao, backing away, bouncing up and down, has no opportunity to throw back. Alternatively, let's see what happens when Pacquiao attacks Morales. See if you can note any patterns.
I just think that we're being caught up a little bit in the
Looking closely, there's a few things to notice. Pacquiao, although explosive and super fast, overcommits, loses balance, and loses his position for his next attack. On the defense, Morales sits tight, keeps his stance, and allows him to throw back and get the better of the exchange. In this sequence, we see both fighters exchanging punches. If we look closely, what allows them to exchange is their ability to hold position, stay strong in their stance, and give themselves enough opportunities to throw more shots, because ultimately they're not going to be able to do it if they're bouncing around the ring or losing balance. Yes, we could say they're more vulnerable in these cases and could get hit, but in order to win a round, you need to land more punches, and you can't do that when you're not in position. At this stage of the bout, Erik Morales appears to be getting the better of the exchanges. He's not as fast as Pacquiao, he doesn't have as much foot speed or hand speed, and definitely not as much power, so then you have to ask the question why. Let's study this sequence to understand how Morales is able to use Pacquiao's speed against him. Let's slow this right down and dissect it. As Pacquiao attacks, he loses balance as he had before, squares his stance up, and Morales holds position and throws a counter right hand. We see Pacquiao now bounce to reset, but Morales is already in his boxing stance and he's able to execute a jab. This stops Pacquiao being able to reset, and now he's overwhelmed by the attack. This is a vicious cycle for Pacquiao. He needs to get back to his stance so he can attack back, but he can't because every time he tries, Morales throws another punch and Pacquiao loses balance. Now let's see the adjustment from Pacquiao here. Yes, he rushes his attack, but he keeps his stance to follow up for a secondary attack, although just a little late. This would have been a successful implementation of phases for one simple flaw. Look at the way Pacquiao has to bounce before he attacks. This is a fundamental flaw in his reset mechanism. He has to do that before every attack and defense. It means that he misses moments that he otherwise would have capitalized on. Later into the fight, Pacquiao is successful at making these adjustments and holding position long enough to get some exchanges. Although, you can see throughout these exchanges, he does bounce between every attack. While Morales holds his stance and is able to throw faster than Pacquiao, although Pacquiao has faster hands. Morales simply has his feet set more often, maybe to the expense of his speed, but not to the expense of his ability to be able to punch when a target is presented. Now that Pacquiao is able to set his feet more, we're starting to get some exciting exchanges, and the fight really gets interesting. Here is another example of how Pacquiao bounces to reset, while Morales has his feet set and lets his hands go first. Watch in slow motion. As if it can't be controlled, Pacquiao steps back to bounce just as Morales is throwing across to the body, catching Pacquiao off balance. Mid-exchange, Pacquiao bounces again to reset, and just as he does, Morales pops a jab, catching him again off balance. Ending the 7th, these guys finish with an incredible exchange. Look at the intensity of Morales' first attack, second attack, third attack, fourth attack. It's relentless. Pacquiao again making adjustments, holds his position long enough to get the better of an exchange through multiple phases. The roles have been reversed. Pacquiao is now putting Morales off balance. Here we see a perfectly timed counter-attack from Pacquiao. As Morales aggresses, Pacquiao catches his backstep, fires off an attack, and then follows up with a secondary attack. You can see how phases accumulate and would change the judge's decision-making over the course of a round. These guys are now in a highly skilled firefight, which is making for entertaining watching. As if Pacquiao, completely aware of his flaws, has corrected his mistakes of previous rounds and is now peppering Morales, keeping on him with consistent pressure and attacks. Morales, in all his experience, can sense Manny Pacquiao building momentum, and he fires back with exactly the same tactics that Pacquiao's been using against him. It's now down to who can implement the strategy better. These guys know now that they have to get the better of the exchanges. They need to win the rounds. This is no longer about speed, skill, or power. This is pure determination, pure grit. Pacquiao has clearly gone on to become an all-time legend, but at this point in his career, he'd still not polished his skills enough to beat an all-time great Mexican like Erik Morales. Pacquiao, for all of the excitement he brought to the ring, on this night, his speed and athleticism was used against him by a crafty veteran.
That may be the best two fights back.